Hello, Aquarius. We have a little visitor to the reading today. I thought she was in a playful mood, but I think she just wants to get under our feet, to be quite honest. Songs for your reading. These are intuitive songs that came through after posting Capricorn's reading yesterday and kind of through the night. You've got Hold On for One More Day by Phillips. You have I Am What I Am by Gloria Gaynor. The two songs randomised for you on Spotify this morning were Eastside by Blanco, Halsey and Khalid. Khalid. And the song Wild West by Will Smith. Too many W's. What else do I have for you? I saw a stuffed tiger teddy. Like a teddy bear, but it was a stuffed tiger, which is really weird because the first thing I saw on Twitter was a stuffed tiger. And I was like, well, that's interesting, isn't it? Maybe that was just a message for me. But no, it was a different looking tiger though. It was kind of more floppy looking. So I don't know, maybe that resonates for you, maybe it doesn't. I also saw it was almost like a cartoon image of the silhouette of a classic detective. So they had is it like a trilby hat, and the trench coat, kind of like the silhouette of a detective. Again, take it if it resonates, leave it if it doesn't. I heard, I heard very, very clearly someone say, Eve has had a look over the fence. Eve has had a look over the fence. So I see that as like Eve in the Garden of Eden, but she's realised that there's like a whole world out there. It's almost like the Garden and the Gate card. If anyone's kind of seen that card before in my readings, it's like being kind of comfortable where you are, but needing to but knowing that there's more out there. There's more opportunity. There's more than you thought there was to be discovered. Now the last thing I had was it was something that happened in real life, and then I dreamt kind of about it as well. So I feel like I'm kind of meant to talk about it. I was on the bus and there was a girl walking up the street. I think she was a college student. She was walking towards the college. She looked very, very, very funky. She was like dressed up. She had like these pink flowing clothes on, and she had like glitter around her eyes. She looked really cool, really funky, a little bit kind of little bit out of this world kind of thing. That was a weird noise. I don't know if you heard a weird noise then. And these like two or three lads on a bus were kind of like laughing at her, like making fun of her. They're like, she didn't know she was just walking up the street, but they were kind of like laughing amongst themselves. And I thought, like, I just thought they were jerks. And you know, when you get that urge to kind of like turn around and say something and be like, what, you think you're so good yourself? You boring, like, standard cookie cutter lads. Like, give her a break. Like, why? Like, and it's this feeling of like the three lads ganging up on one girl over the way she looked. It just pushed a button in me. It really annoyed me, and I kept on thinking about it. So then I kind of dreamt about it. And it's slightly different. It was like the girl was walking along the street and the boys were in a car, like a soft top car, calling to her, and they were calling her Galaxy Girl, like, Galaxy Girl. So the words Galaxy Girl, and this sense of like wanting to be who you are, like wanting to have your own identity, but facing kind of criticism or people mocking you, which quite frankly, I think, have you not got anything better to do with your time than make fun of other people for the way that they want to live their life? I think it's a bit pathetic actually for people too. It's almost like there's something wrong with those people because they're the ones that have to point out the flaws in others. So they're probably really insecure actually, I would have thought, or just jerks. So yeah, so they like that lowers the value of the person if they're going to act like that, for me, I think. Yeah, be nice to people, let them live their own life, do what they want. What does it matter the way we dress? Should we all dress the same? Like, isn't that boring? Like, what, that makes you cool to dress exactly the same way as everybody else? Anyway, run over there. I'm going to tune into the energies and get straight into your reading. Oh, one last thing, because I just saw it on the camera. This card, I don't know if you know from other readings, it haunts me every single time I get this deck out. It's there. So I shuffled, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, oh, I haven't really seen that card yet. Shuffled, split the deck, and then as I put the deck back together, it was on the top. So there we go. Every single time, like without fail, that card is always there looking at me every time I get my hands on that deck. Right, okay, I'm going to tune into the energies and we are going to get to your card reading. 1 minute. Okay, here we go then. What do we have for you, Aquarius? What do we have for the lovely foxy Aquarians today, please? I think, oh, Muse. That's very amusing because Capricorn also had Muse in the same place yesterday. In the underlying, the War of the Roses, somebody else had that card. Was it Sagittarius possibly had War of the Roses? You may want to go and check out their reading if you kind of got like a feeling that like two sides of your family are at war, or two sides of like your colleagues, your friend base. If you feel like there's kind of like two sides that you're having to kind of be pulled between. We have the King of Forces, diversity, two worlds, lightning bolt, King of Scrolls, and the King of Roses. Right, okay, well, we've got three kings here. We three kings of, what is it? I don't know, it's a Three Kings song. Three kings. So there may be three different men who are factors in your situation at the moment. You might be one of these or not. So the King of Forces, somebody who's very in tune with nature, loves the outdoors, very intuitive, kind of goes with the flow a little bit, kind of trusts fate, someone who's quite laid back. Then you've got this King of Scrolls character who is somebody who's always working, always putting effort in, always kind of like doing the next project and the next project, making plans, putting plans into action. It could be something like an architect, some kind of builder, but there is a sense that this person for me is kind of trapped in this garden and the gate. I was talking about the garden and the gate card, so maybe this is the Adam to the Eve of the intuitive message. Somebody who's quite comfortable where they are, but they have plans to kind of go on adventures beyond that gate. I'm not going to read the book for all of these. I'll kind of play it as I go. I'm not going to read the Muse because I literally read that yesterday in Capricorn's reading. So if you're interested in the description of this card, you can go to Capricorn's reading and kind of find the timestamp, and that's the first card that came out. The King of Roses. So this is someone who's romantic, somebody who's feeling quite let's have a quick closer look at him. Yeah, somebody who's kind of dreaming of romance, thinking about love, wanting to make some kind of romantic offer. Maybe I'm getting a bit of a storyline here. Maybe this is like a timeline for somebody. So could be you if you identify as male, masculine, or this could be someone around you. It could be three people around you. I'm getting the sense of this being some sort of timeline though, where it's like somebody was just kind of like going with the flow, trusting fate, going where life took them. Then perhaps they got into some kind of job or role where they kind of like did a lot of planning, a lot of strategy, putting plans into action, communication there. And it's perhaps they've kind of mastered this, right? This is a king. They were the master of going with the flow, the master of putting plans into action. And now they're kind of working on this King of Roses business where they're kind of more interested in romance, of sharing love and passion with those around them. Possibly. And now we've got down here diversity, two worlds, and lightning bolt. Okay, so the storyline's kind of developing. The diversity card, what that is kind of telling me is that actually possibly it's interesting because in your last reading 2 weeks ago, you had the daughter value and the daughter romance. And it was like you were choosing. It's like, well, do I want romance or am I choosing work or am I choosing romance? Like, what do I want in my life? Where do I want to invest my time and effort here? Do I invest it in like enjoying myself, love, pleasure, having the people around me that I want around me, or do I make a choice to kind of like really work hard and kind of go after the money? So there could be a sense of like maybe you've prioritized one of these things over the other. With this diversity card, it's like a sense, again, it's like a garden and the gate card. She's inside this house, as is this woman here, inside the houses, trapped inside, kind of comfortable, okay where they are. They've kind of got the things they need, but they really want to get out there. They want to go and move somewhere else. They want to explore and see what the world has to offer. So this diversity card is a sense of like, exploring your options here. Perhaps these are the options you're exploring. Do you want, you know, maybe you want to go outdoors, have a sense of like nature, being at one with the universe. It could be like a spirituality, work, romance for you, which is kind of what was coming through in your last reading. Two worlds. It's like I feel like this is you on the verge of making a choice, or being pulled in two different directions. It's like, well, what do I want? I can't, you know, can I have it all? This was kind of the theme of your last reading. I want, like, can I have both? Can I have everything? But this two worlds, it's like, I don't know. Lightning bolt, I'm seeing there's some kind of like realization coming in for you. Some kind of like, if you're waiting for a sign, perhaps you're going to get a really clear sign about this. What do I want to read here for you? I want to read the King of Roses because I've got an idea of kind of what these kings are. The King of Roses, I don't know if I've read that card before. So let's see. Roses, roses, roses. Normally these can be like different people in your life who can give you advice. So if you're making a decision, if you're the one trying to diversify and choose between different paths, it may be that these are three different kind of experts or knowledgeable people who you can go to for advice. It's like perhaps these are people who are already in those fields that you want to apply for. It's funny that this king is literally in a field, as is this person. So you may want to approach other people who've kind of like done the thing that you want to do to say, do you have any advice for me? It could be like these are experts. Right, let's have a look. Oh, now I'm picking the wrong card up. Maybe that's a meaning. Maybe you made a choice that you didn't mean to make. This card shows a man holding two roses, a red and a white. Interesting, because we've got the War of the Roses up there, demonstrating a balance of passion and purity. At his feet are the yellow roses of healing and creativity. This is the King of Love, a man who is balanced and well-rounded. When he appears upright in your spread, it indicates that a potential union could be at hand, either in friendship, business, or even romance. Whether this is a new relationship or the blossoming of an old one, this man brings tender-hearted and thoughtful support. He is also someone who could be helpful in your personal life, especially when home or family issues are concerned. Whether the King of Roses is you or another man, the role of a husband or father is now opening to create a happy home and family. This card also lets you know that you are ready to stand up for yourself and take loving but considered action on your own behalf. It's a time of increasing love and compassion, which always start within. Interesting. I kind of think he does have the look of Will Smith about him as well. He had that Will Smith song, don't you think? Kind of has a bit of a look of him when he was younger. Right, okay, and I want to read this lightning bolt card as well, so I'll just quickly show you this so you can have a read of it. It came out upright, so you don't need to read reverse, but it's there if you did want to have a look at it. Eight of Forces, the lightning bolt. I think most of the other things are quite clear. So the lightning bolt and the King of Roses, with them being almost in the future position, these seem to be the ones that I want to have a look at. A lightning bolt illuminates a stormy night sky, striking a tree down to its core. Puddles of rain pool upon the ground. This card shows that it's a time of splitting apart, a time of loss, disappointment, or even metaphorical death. You may be feeling wounded, grieved, or gravely disappointed. The loss could be a career opportunity, romantic relationship, partnership, creative project, or friendship. At first glance, the event may seem sudden or unexpected, but in the light that flashes, we see deep puddles of a storm that has been going on for some time. You've probably been aware of the threat or difficulty at some level, even if you were unwilling to acknowledge it before. Now it's time to accept the situation and not fight what's so. There is benefit coming, but it often takes an ending to bring forth a new beginning and a storm to cleanse the field. All this stuff about fields. It's funny because you were getting stuff about like orchards and vineyards and vineyards and things in your last reading. So now you're getting stuff about fields. So yeah, so it may be that you've been trying to struggle with making a choice, but it's almost like the universe is going to come in here with the Tower moment and make that choice for you. It's like if you didn't know what path to choose, it's like the universe is going to almost like pull the rug out from under your feet and make it an obvious choice. It's like they might take away one of these options, but just know that it's for your own good. It's trying to clear out the things that aren't working for you anymore. It's trying to get you on the path of your destiny. So it may be difficult, but it's all part of like the greater good. It's taking you in the right direction. Right, okay, let's have a look. Sometimes as well, like the universe sends us challenges to kind of work through, so to help us grow. We wouldn't grow if we didn't face challenges. So it's all in the mindset of how you approach these kind of obstacles or sudden events when they hit. Okay, Aquarius, please. Aquarius. What do you have for Aquarius? That shot off, didn't it? The desert. Yeah, you may have been going through some sort of dry spell, whether that's in work or home life, family life, whatever that is for you. It's feeling like there's no water there, and water signifies emotions. So this is like emotions have dried up. There's nothing. It's like desert. Like the situation is, there's nothing growing there anymore. So there's this sense of like praying to kind of go to a different place. I'm seeing Pokemon. It looks like a Pokeball. It's funny because I've seen that card so many times, and today it's saying Pokeball to me. And yesterday, actually, perhaps it wasn't for Capricorn, perhaps it was for you, because I forgot to say it in their reading. I saw a basket, like a wicker basket with a pink like Pokemon type creature in it. It was like it was almost like a pink Pikachu, or is it a Jigglypuff? So yeah, like a pink Pokemon inside a basket. So maybe it was for you, not for Capricorn. The Hearts and the Poet. Nice card so far. Oh, and here we go. Here he is, the Orphan, always stalking me. The Crone. Kairos. I think Kairos is a card about knowing and not knowing. It's almost like, yeah, it's like this duality of knowing and not knowing at the same time, with this like two worlds card as well. This lightning bolt, which was saying splitting apart. I think there's something that you know on some level, but perhaps you are not allowing yourself to fully perceive it, or you are trying to look for a truth. You're trying to look for signs of a truth that you kind of know, but it hasn't kind of tangibly shown up in your real, like your 3D reality yet. The Heart, the Poet, the Orphan, the Crone. So the Crone is obviously like an older female figure, somebody who may be quite spiritual on some sort of level. They probably are very, very wise. They may be able to offer you advice. They may be communicating something to you there with that crow. The Orphan card is a sense of abandonment, loss, feeling left out of a situation, feeling on a global level as well. It can be a feeling of like an awareness of people who are lost, who have no direction, who need nurturing in their life, need love in their life. This snake forming a ring around this child is symbolizes kind of a protective mother energy. So again, you've kind of almost got like perhaps a grandmother who's taking care of somebody who's lost their parents, or it kind of gives me abandonment issues, this card as well. A feeling of scared of it, extending yourself to people because there's a fear that they would reject you. Yeah, you may find that you cling to situations that perhaps have had the time. It's time to leave a situation, but you perhaps still cling to it because you've had these feelings of kind of loss and separation in the past, which left you feeling kind of abandoned and desolate. So you have this sense of kind of like, even if you know something's bad for you, or if you know something's over and done with, the situation's dead in the water kind of thing, you still kind of cling to it like a life jacket because you're so scared of feeling alone again. But then there's this crone energy. The Poet. So funny that this card could come out. Aquarius. So you may find that writing poetry, reading poetry helps you to deal with some of the issues that you're facing, that you're trying to work through, especially around matters of the heart here. Yeah, probably I'm getting quite strongly with the Heart and the Orphan. This is kind of like attachment issues, abandonment issues. Yeah, fear of being rejected, fear of letting go, clinging to things that perhaps no longer serve you. It's interesting as well, the kind of colours on these cards. they're kind of inverted almost. So this card's very, very, very dark, and the child's reaching for this heart, right? Reaching for the emotion. So yeah, like with the desert card, it's like there's no emotion. This child's reaching for this emotion. And then this is like a sense of there being a nest, but there's like a dark, the nest is dark, but the emotion is outside of the nest. So again, there's this sense of like having to leave a situation, to go out to explore, to look for those emotions that are missing in the place that you're in now. Right, what time are we on? 20 minutes. I am going to read... I'm going to read the poet. That's kind of jumping out to me. Oh, and I opened it almost right on the page as well, so definitely meant to be reading this poet card here. The artist, the witness, the truth teller. The poet's work is to feel immensely and not be afraid. They must seek out truth in the darkest corners of the world and carry it back for all to see. This unique capacity resides within us all, regardless of our relationship to creativity. When the poet energy is present, there is a call for deep honesty and reflection, for seeing the big picture within the little one. The poet rides effortlessly between the personal and the universal. It's possible that others may not seem to listen or care about the poet's work, but do not be discouraged. The words of the poet ring true for centuries to come, soothing the wounds of despair and violence that captivate our world. The poet's work is never finished. Find your voice and trust that the wind will carry it. When light, clairvoyant, wise, timeless. When dark, harmful words, sharp tongue, thwarted creativity. Go deeper. Spend 1 hour reading poetry and then one more. The poet is related to the shaman and the bridge. These archetypes hover in the meeting place between the everyday and the sacred. It's likely there is a poem or poet that was meaningful to you at a young age. Revisit and reread it now and be open to its message. I'm sort of having the sense that I need to say it's not always just poetry. Poetry can be in a lot of different places, and it's more than just words. It can be in images. The poetry of a beautifully arranged image, it's just this idea of like piecing something together to create something new. Poetry as well can also be found in music, even in rap music. You may like rap music with Will Smith coming through. It's the same tools in there. It's rhyme, it's repetition, it's assonance, it's alliteration, it's all the things that you'd find, metaphors, similes, all the things that you'd find in classical poetry, highbrow poetry, you would also find in a lot of music. So don't dismiss music if you don't relate to poetry. Take it as it resonates for you. I'm looking at the heart next. I think I need to go to the heart. The home, the centre, the throne. It is possible from an imaginal point of view to sense the heart as a place. Either we are there within the realm of expansion and compassion, or we have drifted somewhere else. There is no in between. It is common for us to leave this archetypal centre without realising it, as the world with its seductive twists and turns offers us frequent departure. I'm just going to pause there. It's interesting, this is saying there's no in between, and it does feel like you're in between like a choice, right? I think you're following your heart in a situation, which is always a good thing to do, because that's where the emotional value is going to come from. So if you're stuck between somewhere that feels empty, and you want to follow your heart, and you feel at the moment you're kind of in this process of making your mind up about something, it's like your heart's already decided. Your heart can't be in two places at once. It's either there or it's left. And with the desert card up there, it looks like it's left somewhere. Wherever that is for you, whatever situation that is for you, doesn't necessarily have to be a loving relationship, a partnership. It could be a connection with a friend or a family member, or it could be a workplace or a hobby, or something that you do. It doesn't have to necessarily be a romantic relationship, but this is kind of saying something's kind of dried up for you now, and your heart's already left the situation. You've emotionally exited the situation. So I think your mind has to kind of catch up here. That's kind of what's coming through. We may even become a stranger to the landscape of the heart, leaving it vacant for long stretches of time. I'm looking at that desert card again. The seat of the heart is often reclaimed by nature, music, dance, and the presence of children or animals, or poetry apparently. This card encourages us to move past the layers of life's tangles and knots and enter the wild and sacred centre of the self. The most precious throne in the galaxy is awaiting your return. Okay, I'll show you that. You can read those side messages there if you want to. You may have to turn your head around or turn your phone around or screen around. The orphan, kind of self-explanatory. It's this sense of abandonment issues, of feeling lost in the world, or of having a sense of other people who feel lost in the world and wanting to do something about it. You may be able to almost like have an effect on the world, maybe not change the whole world, but contribute to the changing world through poetry or music or dance. I'm hearing dance as well. Crone, I'm going to read the crone next. I'm going to leave Kairos. I'm going to double check it just quickly to make sure that I have read it accurately. No, mythic time and synchronicity. Okay, well, I'll leave the crone and I'll read Kairos then. If I've misread it, it normally means I've misread it intentionally for a purpose. So the kind of things that I was talking about with that will still matter. Everything that comes out in a reading is meant to be part of the reading. Kairos, mythic time, synchronicity. We have all had the experience of timelessness, of life beyond the ticking of the clock. It may be felt as time standing still, slow motion, or losing track of time on a walk or in a lovely conversation. This is known as mythic time, and it's the territory of Kairos. This card suggests there is a secondary time continuum that goes beyond any earthly clocks and schedules. Within this non-linear realm, we access divine timing. A single moment ripens with auspiciousness, and our actions change the trajectory of our whole life. Time becomes a living thing that watches over us and tells us precisely when to speak or act. When this card appears, it's all about patience and precision. No clock can guide you. Wait for the rush of inner knowing and not a moment longer. Okay, so again, I'm going to pop that there. You can read those side messages at the edges. It's interesting that this is underneath the lightning bolt. So it's like that lightning bolt, that moment of realization, some kind of event that kind of like prompts you to move. This is kind of like divine timing. Perhaps you're kind of stuck in this kind of holding pattern, right? Of being stuck in a situation that you know it's time to leave. In your heart, you've emotionally already left a situation. But this is kind of like the tower moment coming in to kind of make it really clear. That's kind of how I'm reading that. So I'm just sort of faffing around with my book at the edge of the screen. What else do we have here? Can you give me another card for the situation of Aquarius, please? One more card, please, for the situation Aquarius is in. There we go. Whoop, just wreck everything there. It's funny as well, I've hit that card that reminds me of the Tower card, and that's what the Tower card does. It's like unexpectedly just comes in and shakes everything up, moves everything, shifts energy around. Two of materials, there you are trying to balance something out, trying to make a decision. Muse of Voices. This is the King of Swords. King of Swords would probably be kind of similar to the King of Scrolls, possibly. Sorry, excuse me. Muse of Voices. Let's give you a read. I've almost opened it right on the page as well. It's like 2 pages away. I love this. This is the Muse Tarot. I love the messages that come through with this deck. Keywords: communicating truth, intuitive knowing, integrity, directness, honest leadership, diplomacy, finding spiritual truth and purpose, bird's eye view, blending strategy with intuitive knowing, avoiding manipulation. Prompt: the walkway of consciousness. The Muse of Voices dances freely at the gates of enlightenment, drawing heavily on both experience and inner clarity. She knows that what her mind creates and what it receives from the world are both based on her own perception of the facts, and yet she also knows that collective truth, agreed upon reality, is what we must use to share our dance of joy. She whispers to speak clearly and to step into your position as an unbiased truth-telling leader. Allow the wind to whisk you past any voices that seem to stand in the way between you and your dreams. Be authoritative when it comes to honesty and integrity, and blend diplomacy and intellect on your way to transcendence. Steering clear of showy displays made with the false beauty of smoke and mirrors will allow you to focus on the art of the mind and to put your head in front of your heart while you find your voice and use your tools of perceptive independence. Light with me, the world on truth, sweet drop of trust ignite. Flight with me, in all our youth, our sacred will, speak blight. Okay, interesting. So this is saying, to me, it's almost saying your heart knows, but now it's time to find the words to communicate it. Use your mind to put something into action, to communicate something. Interesting. It's funny you put it with the muse there as well. Again, muse as well, connecting with poetry, finding inspiration through the creative arts. Right, okay, let's shove those out. What? This deck, got one of my hairs in it as well there. I sort of split it as I picked it up to the Three of Cups there, which is about finding kind of like your friends, your family group, the people who you connect with on a soul level. It can also be a card of facing gossip, so I don't know, take it as it resonates. Right, I feel like I need to split the deck because that card's always looking at me. It's funny that I split it on the Tower, right? The Tower and making a choice. That Tower, that lightning bolt, guys, you may be facing a Tower moment. They can be quite a jolt, quite hard to deal with when they come in. It's a shocking event. It's something that kind of shakes your foundations, pulls the rug from under your feet, something unexpected. But you can see how it's cracked the mask. So if somebody's been hiding behind a mask, it's like this is going to reveal the truth, is how I'm reading this today. So it is for the greater good. It's just, it may be difficult to process, it may be difficult to deal with. You can persevere through it. This is like a heads up, right? It's always easier if you know to prepare for something, rather than it just coming in and being a shock. And this is the energy of Pluto going forward now. It's going to be bringing out a lot of truths, a lot of things that have been unsaid. Can I get the emotional space, please? What's going on emotionally for Aquarius? What's going on in the emotional space for Aquarius, please? Okay. Who have we got here? The Four of Pentacles. Somebody may be being a little bit greedy, a little bit guarded, clinging on to things, trying to save money. And the Tower, again, in the underneath. That Tower is coming through so clearly. You've got the Hangman and the Queen of Cups. So there's a situation emotionally where you are being kind of feeling a bit stuck, having a need to be patient, kind of being held in one place. But you, this time is allowing you to get a different perspective on things. This is actually the Aquarius card, because so this could actually just mean you. This is you, because it's the Aquarius card. So yeah, feeling perhaps like you've had your back to a situation. You may have turned your back to a situation, but you're seeing things from a different perspective. You also got that snake behind your head. Turned your back to somebody who was a bit of a snake, possibly, or you perceived as being a bit of a snake. And again, we've got another cracked mask there. As again, like the mask is off. Perhaps you've realized somebody is a snake behind the mask, or you perceive someone as being a snake, but actually behind the mask there's something else, because they're showing up with this Queen of Cups card. Now, so the thing that you've been having a look at, the thing that you've been changing your perspective on, is this Queen of Cups energy. So this could be you, it could be somebody around you, but it's somebody who is very, very loving, very nurturing, very giving emotionally. They express their emotions, they're very open and honest with their emotions. They've got a lot of emotional control, emotional depth, a lot of love to give. They're a very, very caring person in the upright. So you're changing your perspective in regards to perhaps somebody making displays of emotion to you, or you wanting to display emotion to others. But you can see the size of this cup. This is like, they have an abundance of love. So this is where you're changing your perspective. You're seeing this now, but there may be a sense that this is too late. Perhaps somebody was trying to make a love offer to you, trying to extend love to you, but you've kind of like almost like missed the boat. Perhaps this person's turned their back, perhaps because it's taken so long, or perhaps you thought someone was offering love to you, but you realize now, when you've looked at it from a different perspective, this person's kind of turning away, or you've got a different perspective on a situation where you thought somebody had turned away. But this person is looking at the stars, they're looking at the dreams, they're looking at the wishes. So I think this is you getting a different perspective on love, turning your back on a situation that felt very, very dry. Looking at things from a different point of view regarding this love, the expression of love. The stalk as well. The stalk can be like a surprise pregnancy. You've got that tower moment. Somebody could be pregnant, surprise. So be very, very careful right now if you don't want to get pregnant or you don't want to get someone pregnant. But the stalk can also symbolize opportunities coming in for you. So I'm going to have them that way up just because I like the light version of both those cards. You have looked at something in a different way though. What's going on in your thoughts then, Aquarius? What's going on? What are you thinking about at the moment? Something is taking a lot of strength. The moon there. Yeah, I think there's things that you don't know. There's kind of secrets around you. You are using your intuition in this situation to kind of guide you through. Interesting as well is like a white dog and a black dog or wolf howling at each other across the ocean. So then you may be connecting with somebody else emotionally, but there's a sense of distance between you, a sense of not quite intuitively sensing this connection, but not but knowing that there's a lot of secrets here. Things are not clear. This may be, it's like here's the depth of emotion. If you've been in that desert, I'm seeing the size of that Queen's Cup. It's like overflowing, and here it is like almost like sinking in the situation because there's so much emotion there between you and someone else. But you know, the secrets are giving that sinking feeling. 9 of Swords as well. Yeah, there may be a lot of anxiety. This is mental space as well. I don't know if you saw how the card slipped off there. They were showing me the underlying card. They wanted me to look at it. But underneath that, I can see, is that like, what's this one that's peeking through? 4 of Cups. Yeah, this is like somebody not taking a love offer, not taking an offer of love, of support, of some kind of emotional offer. Like there she is, the Queen of Cups, making this offer, but somebody's not taking it because they have a lot of anxiety, like depression. The 9 of Swords can be depression. It's kind of like serious mental health like issues because of overthinking a situation, where perhaps you're trying to see clearly because of these secrets, intuitively sensing this tower moment, this change coming in. Your heart's left the building, you're having a lot of difficulty here in this two worlds energy. So it requires a lot of strength. This can also be called about confidence, about leadership, about a protective energy. You can see that she's a lion who's looking after a lamb. So there may be a sense of someone, again, it's also interesting, I kind of put it here. So the lamb could be this orphan character and the lion could be this crone character. There's somebody here who's protective over somebody who's more innocent, more vulnerable. That's going on in your thoughts. I think this could be a person that you've seen. You perhaps saw them as a snake, but now you realise actually that it's this protective energy, because that was coming through in your last reading. Perhaps you understand this person better because you've had a different look at the situation. What's going on in the action space, please, for Aquarius? Page of Wands in reverse. Why is the Page of Wands in reverse in the action space, please? Why is the Page of Wands in reverse in the action space? Can I get a clarifier, please? Thank you. The Hermit. So, the Page of Wands, this is... One second while I have a think. There may be a sense here of somebody who is a little bit immature, a little bit too over-enthusiastic, thoughtless in their actions regarding something that they felt very passionate about, or some kind of love offer that they wanted to make. This could be in the past. This could be something that happened in your childhood. Perhaps you went in too soon into a situation. You expressed yourself too soon. It's kind of like very, kind of naive, spontaneous. But I think maybe it didn't work out. So it put you into this orphan energy, put you into this hermit energy of somebody who's kind of drawing back from a situation, drawing away from people, kind of going quite introspective. So I think this is something that you're kind of dealing with now. I think this is something that you're looking at. You had this sense of disappointment, this feeling of rejection, probably because you went in too soon with too much enthusiasm. You might have spooked the other person. It's caused this kind of like withdrawal energy of kind of almost like she's got a hand over her heart. It's like protecting her heart, pulling back. It's almost like, well, if I don't, I've been hurt in the past. I know not to act that way anymore. So therefore, I'm going to keep to myself and not make this offer of love or friendship or whatever it is. It's kind of, it's almost like a turtle energy. If somebody who's squidgy on the inside, they're scared of getting hurt, so they've got this protective outer shell where they're kind of withdrawn from a situation. Again, another Two of Pentacles there, making a decision. I think the decision might be for you. I mean, this is a lesson, right? You've grown from this, and an awareness if you do have attachment issues, fear of rejection. It's good to kind of take a look at that about yourself, to realize that that's an aspect of your personality, to understand why it's an aspect of your personality because of things that have happened in your past, but also to kind of like to be able to look at your actions and say, well, what have I learned? How could I have done that differently? Which mistakes did I make? And it is this kind of like immature kind of like jumping in too fast energy, which I think may have caused this kind of like delay in your heart space, this kind of trying to look at things from all different angles. Right, okay, I'm going to go to your advice card because I think you do need advice in this situation. I think, this over-analysing, this analytical process is definitely serving you because I think it's giving you some clarity. This might actually be what's giving you this realisation, this tower moment. But it's a really stuck energy, and there's a fear here. So I want to help you get through this. I want to kind of give you the advice of what to do in this situation. Can I get, please, the best advice, thank you, that you can give to Aquarius in this situation? So we've got the Poised card. So you are ready to take a leap of faith, I see this as, or you're getting ready, you're preparing, you're poised, you're on the edge of doing something, reaching for the stars, going after your dreams and wishes. Do you have another advice card, please, regarding this attachment issue energy? How can we help them to heal through this attachment issue energy? That might be too many. This one kind of stuck in my hand though. Here and now, be in the here and now. It's interesting. You've got here and now and time to go. And I think I'm not going to read all these cards, but you've got here and now, time to go the distance. Time for a nap, round and round, soulmates, by the book, all that glitters, the fates, a leg up. And there's the polar bears. Mom, there's your polar bear. And co-create. So I'm taking those because it's interesting. Be in the here and now. Don't worry too much about the past and the future. There is a sense that it's time to go. I'm going to put that with the Poised card, like ready to leave. Or is it yeah, no, maybe this is the choice you're making. Is it time to go, or are you going to go the distance? What is this? I don't know. I can't read all of them. I'm going to read some of them. Poised. Okay, 48. Being ready, bringing something to light, being at your best, confidence. The Oracle's message. You can be assured that you are ready for anything right now. You know what you need to do. Right, okay, this is the one I'm reading. You know what you need to do. Your skills are sharp. You've come to this place armed with wisdom and knowledge, and you sense a new phase of your life about to begin. People respond to your confidence and trust you. This is an auspicious time to begin new things. If this is a relationship issue for you, the relationship message is, when you're confident and happy in your own skin, you are ready for deeper, more intimate relationships. You have nothing to prove right now. You are completely yourself and can handle anything. Love, friendships, and harmonious new connections are all present now or are coming in. You're ready to give and receive from the heart. This is a beautiful place to be. Okay, so it's like you're ready. But I think perhaps what this is saying is definitely be in the here and now. get ready. If you know something's coming in for you, if you're going to be going somewhere or going the distance with something, prepare now. While you're in this stuck energy, prepare. But whether you go, whether you leave a situation or you see it through to the end, I think that's your choice. And I think you intuitively know what the right choice is for you. Follow your heart. If your heart's left a situation, then it's time to go, right? If your heart is committed, if your heart is in it to win it, then go the distance. It could be two separate situations. You may need to leave one, go the distance with another. I don't know. You probably know. If you, where's your heart? Like, where is your heart? Follow your heart, your intuition, but use your headspace, use your logic, use your communication skills to make it happen, to communicate this to others. Okay, so I hope that was helpful to you. It was a little bit of a shorter reading today, but I felt like we got all the messages that needed to come through there. Good luck with that, Aquarius. I think you're doing amazingly. The group of Aquarians who've been coming to my readings for a while, I can see that progress that you've been doing, really about your identity, about who you are, about what you want. And I can see now that you really are on the verge of going after your dreams, and that's amazing. That's amazing. I'm working on these issues here as well, these abandonment issues. You're making really, really good progress. Stay strong, and keep moving forward. You're doing amazing, Aquarius. Take care, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.